everyone. My name is Deirdre Denman, and I'm the marketing coordinator for EandM. Thank you for attending part one of our Get a Grip on Robotics webinar series this morning. Today's focus for the series will be on the flexible two-finger robotic grippers by OnRobot. After the webinar, we will be doing a short Q&A. Please type any questions or comments into the Q&A box, the chat box, or email us at webinar@eandm.com. I'd like to introduce one of our robotic specialists at EandM, who will be your presenter this morning, Lillie D, and I'll turn it over to Lillie to get us started today. Good morning, Lillie.
Good morning, Deirdre. Good morning, everyone. I'm so glad that you guys were able to join me this morning. Like Deirdre said, I'm Lillie D. I'm one of your robotics specialists at EandM. I know it's kind of crazy. EandM is venturing into the world of robotics. I'm the newest member of the robotics group. So we're starting to bring on products that are more focused on robots, gripping, and so I'm here to tell you about one of our newest products. So OnRobot, they make products that go on robots, kind of in the name, and they specifically make grippers and other technology, end-of-arm tooling for a variety of designed mostly for cobots, so collaborative robotics, but you could use them in other areas depending upon your application. So a little bit about OnRobot before we jump into the fun stuff. OnRobot is they're a great company. They actually make really wonderful products that are universal. So they're cobot agnostic. What does that mean? That means that I don't care what brand of robot you happen to be using. If it's a UR, a Techman, a KUKA, I don't necessarily care. It will work with all of them. And everything is plug and produce. So essentially what that means is I can slap this on the robot, and with a little bit of software integration, they do have a little bit of software, but it's mostly just telling the gripper when to open and close. Makes it really, really easy. Another great thing about their products is they're all off the shelf. So they're not necessarily customizable, like you can't change the length of the gripper or anything like that. But that does mean that you're getting the same product every time. So it makes it really, really easy to choose one thing and know it's going to work. And actually, my favorite part is they're constantly innovating. So if you don't see something in this presentation or on their website that you think is going to work for your application, check back in a few weeks. They might have something new. So, that's a wonderful thing. And actually, heads up, they're coming out with a new product tomorrow. So if you do like what you see here, go check out their website tomorrow morning and you might see something else really cool. So I kind of gave you a little bit of a preview of what we're going to be talking about. So today we're talking about OnRobot's two-finger grippers. So it has two fingers, pretty standard. It comes in 3 different styles. So this is kind of what I call the base model, the standard style. So this is the RG6. It does come in a slightly smaller model, so ignore the fanciness of this one and just pretend that it's this one a little bit smaller, and that's the RG2. So the main difference between the two of them, aside from the stroke length, is the payload. So the RG6 has a 6 kilogram payload and up to 150 millimeter stroke. So that is adjustable, and it does kind of close out in front like this. Now the RG2, you can guess, has a 2 kilogram payload, and the stroke length is just a little bit shorter at 110 millimeters, and it's also adjustable. Another cool thing about these ones is you can actually remove these fingers. They have little screws here. So you can remove them, turn them to face the other direction. You could download the CAD model from their website, 3D print your own. There's lots of ways to customize these fingertips here. So that's, so an added benefit. You can't customize the whole thing, but you can definitely customize the end of the gripper here. So Like all of their products, they have software that features their one system solution. So it's going to help you decrease your engineering time and have an increase in your manufacturing time. So also really cool. And something I'm not really highlighting here is that they have this really nifty quick change connector. So just going to let you guys know, I bought these products, oh, I don't know, maybe 10 months ago. And they're already out of date. So I actually am missing the nice little flat connector in here. There's a flat one in here. So this cable coming off of my RG6 wouldn't exist on the new models. It would actually be coming out of the quick changer here. So you can really quickly and easily just interchange them on your robot. And so this means that with the new model, you don't have to undo this cable. You just click it in place and then it's there and powered and ready to go. OnRobot also makes a dual changer version of this. So if you can imagine, there are two little plates like that. And so you can put two of these kind of like offset from each other like this, which is great when you're working with a machine tending application, or maybe you just want to kind of grab a hold of multiple items, or maybe one side is, you know, after it gets machined, it's a lower payload. You know, you can kind of mix and match your grippers. And many, if not almost all, of the OnRobot grippers have that ability to be put on that dual quick changer. The RG2 and RG6 are both tube certified. So it comes with all of the standard safety required for robotic applications. So I kind of also showed you really quickly my other two-finger gripper here. So what's really interesting is that you can see it's essentially just the smaller version, but it does have a few more features that make this RGFT, so RG, the standard two-finger 2 kilogram gripper. FT stands for force torque. So where are the force torque sensors? They're actually right here. These little black lines on the fingertips are the force torque sensors. So I'll give you guys a little bit of an idea. When you press on this, it deforms the sensor a little bit, and essentially it can tell how much pressure it's applying, or the product is applying to it. So it's great for picking up really delicate things. And also, in conjunction with that, there's a photo eye that runs between these two fingers. So it's really great if you maybe have a part that's not exactly in the right place every time, so you want to center the robot gripper on it before you pick it up. You know, it makes it a little bit easier. So this also does have the ability to change the angle of your grippers to kind of give it a little bit of a different stroke length as well. So what's really nice about this is it's giving you all that precision for really difficult or very precise pick and place or movement. So a lot of people have found that when using the RG2FT, it reduces their defect rate by as much as 60% for delicate pick and place applications. So that's really awesome. A lot more uptime, a lot less time, you know, having a human double check all of your parts. You know, really a very innovative product. So it can also kind of have a good feel for human interaction. OnRobot has a really cool demo, and I wish I had a video of it to show you guys, but you actually hand this a little, like your business card, and it closes around it, and it won't pull very hard until you let go. So you can use it kind of interacting with humans. Of course, if you have the right safety, don't try to hand a human a knife with this. Business card is probably about as far as I would go, you know, relatively safe, not going to hurt your human worker. And so it does make, you know, for a good human to robot interaction. It does also help with your automating of insertion tasks. So a lot of times when we're looking for really delicate small items, or maybe they have to be placed in a very particular spot or a small hole, this is a great option. It can feel a little bit more. So we found that a lot of people were able to reduce their operating costs by about 40% when using this in some of their automation, to automate some of their more complicated insertion tasks. So like I said, it kind of can help you detect the workpiece, and it can also detect a little bit of the risks before it happens. So again, just making sure it's centered. You know, when you press down, it's not going to break the product, all those kinds of things. Once again, this does have that click on, click off capability. And then this does have another feature on the mounting here that's a little bit different in the new version. So this actually has several holes around the outside. In the newer version, you would actually be able to loosen a small thing and then click it and then tighten it back down. So as I said, OnRobot is constantly innovating. So they're coming out with new products, new options. And so it's a little bit, you know, I'm never quite sure what they're going to have next, but my models are slightly older. So that's kind of all I have for today on the 2-finger grippers from OnRobot. If you guys have any questions, please feel free to type them into the chat. And I will be back in a couple of weeks to talk about some other products from OnRobot. I believe in 2 weeks' time, I'll be back to talk about the vacuum and gecko grippers from OnRobot. Those products are great for picking up flat products and delicate products. Specifically, the gecko gripper is really awesome for picking up delicate targets. So yeah, I'm ready for any questions you guys may have. And then, of course, if you think of a question afterwards, feel free to email the webinar email that Deirdre gave you earlier. I'll get those questions and get back to you as soon as I can.
Thank you. And as Lillie mentioned, we'll now open it up for a couple of questions. Please type any questions you have into the chat box, Q&A box, or you can email us at EandM or at webinar@eandm.com. We did receive a couple of questions during the webinar, so we'll get started on those questions first, Lillie.
Sounds good.
Grab them. Okay, so do they offer an automatic quick changer?
At this time, OnRobot does not have an auto quick changer, so they do. It would be a manual change for a person to come up and click on and click off these products. So right now, sadly, we don't have an option for that, but who knows, that might come in the future.
The second question is, what is their closing force?
Oh, okay, cool. Yeah, I guess I missed that. So the RG2s, so the RG2 standard and then the RG2 FT both have the same closing force. It is adjustable. So the minimum is about 3 newtons and the maximum is about 40 newtons. So you can grip pretty well. It just kind of depends again on what your product is, and you know, you don't want to break anything. Now the RG6, along with the added weight, payload, you can grip a little bit, you know, more forcefully. 25 newtons is its minimum and 120 newtons is its max.
Okay, and then how do you communicate to the robot? What type of communication to the gripper?
So that kind of depends on what robot you have. In the newer models, since the communication is coming through the quick changer, and there's a couple of different versions. I know some of the OnRobot product communicates over I/O, some of it communicates over a network. So it kind of depends on what product you're choosing and what robot you have. So I actually have a tech man robot. He's here in my house right now. He's my coworker while we're in lockdown. And so I know that I can plug my gripper into his system, and actually their software has an add-on. I can ask for the function block kind of thing from OnRobot and plug it into my software. And then it just makes it simpler to program through the robot interface. But, it kind of depends on what robot you have. But most of them should have something relatively simple to help with integration.
Okay. And then what is Tuve?
Yes, I kind of glossed over that a little bit. So Tuve is a company that is offering comprehensive robot safety testing for products. And they also offer product certification and auditing services. So essentially, these products are tested by a third party. So they're not internally tested. They're held to the highest standards of robot safety. So they really keep up with any of the new standards coming out with regards to collaborative safety, what it means to make a collaborative gripper and a collaborative arm work together to make them safe. Of course, they can't predict what you're going to be putting in the gripper of this. So like I said earlier, if you put a knife in the end of your robot, you can still hurt someone, even if the robot is considered safe and collaborative. The gripper is considered safe and collaborative. You still do have to think about your safety risks. And I always recommend either having someone come in who knows a lot about safety to help you with a safety assessment, or see if you can figure out something internally. Sadly, EandM is not certified to do any of those safety assessments, but I could point you in the direction of someone if needed.
Okay, I think that concludes our Q&A portion for the webinar. Thank you, Lillie, and everyone who attended today. If you would like to review any portion of the webinar, a recording will be available on our YouTube channel and on our website at eandm.com. Thank you again for attending, and we hope to have you again for part 2, like Lillie said, for our Get a Grip on Robotics webinar series on April 29th, focused on vacuum and gecko grippers by OnRobot. Thank you for joining us.